through our agenda. Before we go through our agenda, we're going to start our Pledge of Allegiance in moment of silence. Boys and girls, go ahead, and since you can see the flag right now, we'll face our flag. Go ahead and start our pledge in moment of silence to begin our day today. Make sure that you have your microphone muted. We'll start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we're going to be starting with our preamble to our Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted amongst men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. We'll also have a moment of silence. We'll go ahead and start our day. I want to go ahead right now and just let a few more people in that are coming on in. Welcome aboard if you're just joining us right now. Boys and girls, what I'm going to try right now is also to allow you to ask questions in the chat feature. So I'm going to start that up right now. Just remember that the chat feature is used for us to ask questions. It's kind of like talking in class. So if you do the chat, remember it's not something we're talking to other people, but just talking to me so that we're able not to get everyone else distracted. You guys have been doing a really good job actually with this. I was telling this church yesterday that I thought they were doing pretty good with it and being really respectful of other people's time and attention by not using the chat for other purposes. So let me go ahead and start that. I'm going to pop that in so you guys have that ability. For those of you who may have had troubles with the chat, again, our music teacher, Mrs. Rogers, was also helping us out with that to see if we could actually figure it out. So we may have found a solution so that everyone can actually use the chat feature instead of having to worry about not being able to chat. So we'll try that out right now. If you have questions, just put them into the chat. I'll be watching the chat as we do this. Let me go over our day. And you should be able to see my agenda right now with everything that's going on. I emailed it to you guys and also texted your parents for it, so everyone should have it. Today we're going to start our morning meeting like we're doing right now. After our morning meeting at about 8:20, we'll be doing I'll be giving you time to work on your assignment, which is Tuesday's Spiromath. And Abby, great. I'm glad to hear that the chat works for you, so that's awesome. We're going to go ahead and give you time to work on our Tuesday Spiromath. Great, boys and girls. If the chat's working, that's good. It looks like it should work for everybody, so I'm glad to see that. All right, now we're going to go ahead right now, and after our Spiromath, we're going to review yesterday's Spiromath. Yesterday was Monday, so we'll be going over Monday's Spiromath and going over the answers to that. Hopefully I won't make as many mistakes this time, but I know I've got some people that are really able to spot those mistakes for me, so I'm really proud of you guys. We're also going to at 9:10 today, at about 9:10 today, we're going to be reviewing our yesterday's math homework. So I want you to make sure you have your math homework from yesterday done because we're going to be going over it as in a class. So I want to be able to check and review those answers together and just answer any questions you might have about the homework. At 9:30 today, we're going to have another meeting where we're going to be doing our math assignment, our math lesson 1.2, which is our second math lesson of the year. And that's going to be about how to compare and order whole numbers through millions. If you have a brother or sister who's in my class, you may have heard about the annoying song that we sing about lining up our numbers. I don't know if I'm going to sing it, but maybe I will. Pray that I don't. All right, now we're going to go ahead and go to our 10 a.m. assignment. And our 10 a.m. assignment is to allow you to work on the math lesson homework for today. So that'll be, please don't start the assignment until you've actually watched the lesson, just to make sure you understand what's going on before you jump on that. At about 10:30 today, we'll have our live daily dictation. That'll be our Tuesday dictation. Make sure you use the paper you saved from the Monday dictation because we're going to use that same paper every day this week. We're going to have an ELA mini lesson at 10:45. On that, I'm going to be highlighting a summary that I thought was outstanding. One of you guys did a really great job with your summary for Chapter 2 of City of Ember. And I want to show you, compare that to an example of what's not a great summary. Now, the not a great summary is sort of vague. It was one that was done a while ago by somebody else. I won't name names or anybody, but it's just one that I want to show you. It's kind of like a vague summary versus a really, really good summary. I want to show you the difference in how to avoid what we call being vague in a summary. After that, we're going to 11 a.m. We're switching our lunch to a little bit more aligned to how it's going to be in school when we get back. We should be getting back to school right around, we should be having lunch somewhere between 11:15 to 12 noon. So I'm going to use that as our lunch hour for now, and that'll be lunch recess. Again, you guys can eat anytime you want to, but that's generally the scheduled time for lessons when we'll take a break from lessons and activities and do our lunch here at school. When we get back from lunch, we're going to have a live Teams meeting to introduce Ember Chapter 2, Part 2 summary and question of the day. We're also going to have a read aloud for this one. So instead of you guys reading it by yourself, you have the option of listening to me and Miss Church will take turns reading the rest of Chapter 2, City of Ember, and having you work on We'll have you work on summary words. Derek, we're not going to be having specials this week. We'll be starting specials next week. And then once those times are finalized, we'll be able to let you know once those are set in. We're going to move on down. We're going to give you time today to work on Ember Chapter 2, Part 2, summary and question of the day. And we'll give you time from about 12:40 to 1:30 to work on that. It's very, very important. Again, I'm going to give you this warning because do not start this activity until you've actually watched the live lesson explaining it. This question of the day especially, I want to make sure you understand what you're going to be doing with it before you jump in and get started. We're also going to be adding something new today. At 1:30, we're going to be introducing what's called Street View. If you have any brothers or sisters that have been in my class, you could probably ask them about Street View. At school, we would get on our tablets and we would go to different places in America virtually so that we could see parts of America that are relevant to American history. It's kind of a fun way to do virtual field trips. And now, especially since we really can't go anywhere, it's a great way for us to see parts of America that are important about American history. Today, during our first Street View, we're going to be going to a history museum in Jamestown, Virginia, and we're going to be answering a question about what you see inside history. Boys and girls, please remember to use the chats. I'm going to go ahead and mute the chats because right now we're having some people who are not able to use the chats. So please remember that if we're not able to use the chats responsibly, I'm going to go ahead and just mute people if they're not able to do that. So I'm going to just turn it off right now for just 1 second, just so I make sure I can see everyone's paying attention. And I want to make sure that we have everyone focused in on here. And then if you do have any other questions, we can say them later. What I want to do right now is at the very end of the day, we'll give you time to work on your assignment. And then we'll go ahead and at the very end of the day from 2 to 3 p.m., I'm going to give you time to work on anything that you haven't finished up throughout the day. It's also from 2 to 3 will be our office hour again. And at that time, it's a great time to finish up assignments. It's also a great time to ask questions and get help from Mr. Yates and Ms. Church. We're going to be reading our emails. We'll be available for you for video conferencing if you'd like to do that. We won't have a whole group lesson, but we will be able to get started with our private video conferencing if you need that. And we'll do that until 3 o'clock today. If you miss any of our live meeting and lessons, we are going to be posting those so you can watch them. We'll be getting those done by the end of the day. So right after the lesson, we probably won't be ready because we have to get ready for the next lesson and work on that. So we won't have those ready right away. But we will have them by the end of the day so you can pull those. If you have any questions in the meantime, just go ahead and email me for those. Boys and girls, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and get you some time to get started on your Tuesday Spiral Math. I'd like you to pull that up. Go ahead and get started with that. We're going to go ahead and end the recording right now for this session. I am going to download the attendance list right now to make sure that to take a record of who is here today. So don't leave yet because I want to make sure that I have everybody here so I don't mark you absent. So what we're going to do is let me get that ready here. Meeting details. We're just going to go ahead and add that on in. And apparently Mr. Yates cannot find that attendance list again one more time. So let me just see if I can find that here. Oh, Lord. All right, I'm going to stop recording, and then we're going to go ahead and get the attendance list. So I have